was saying that segregation was legal. When they started that process, they put a plan into place that was doomed from the beginning, as far as they were concerned, because they were trying to isolate the African American people and at the same time keep them from being productive in the American dream or an American concept or an American developing American system. And what happened? It backfired on them. It backfired when they put those laws into place that segregation is legal. The African Americans just went on and started building on their own, building their own places, their Black Wall Streets and Durham, North Carolina, all the way up to Seattle, Washington. If you look at the history between 1896 and 1932, you will find that the greatest growth of the African American community took place then.
But we began to organize locally and come up with a strategy that affects our local elections. But you got to know what this is all about. You got to know this scheme exists. And you have to know that anything can be changed if we come together with our, as the word is being said, our collaborative relationships, our affiliates, our partnerships, anything that we can set up and make a model out of and replicate it everywhere, you can have the same effect on a national scale, just starting on a local level. But we have the platform. We have the Chicago Defender from the technology perspective to be able to disseminate information as Chicago Defender did back in the old days, where they were the main focus on how to get information to our community on a national level, and they were the leaders in that. So I'm looking at C3 Vision to be that mechanism, and like you said, let's make it happen at home, and then we can take it to where we want to take it to. But also know this, Bernard, the Action for Community Planning, I am a part of that with what I'm doing. And it's such a simple concept. If we lay it out with specific strategies without trying to be all over the place, just be where we're supposed to be, implement what we need to implement. This will be a mind-boggling opportunity for us as a group of people to begin to change the technology, change the mindset, change the thinking. The problem is, as I think Brother Shahid said earlier, we got all these different minds with all these different ideas. How do you hone in on that? Because everybody got something to say. So what you do, you come with the strategy in place, and you take your idea, you take your mindset, and make that strategy work through many different components. So we just need to, as you said, come up with a virtual video, saying what we have to say, so we can develop that. What's the word? He said collective bargaining. It's such a deep word, you just can't use it as it is, but you have to frame it so it comes to the ultimate end of what you say, winds up being that frame of mind for collective bargaining and thinking and making sure that we dictate our politics, we dictate our ideas, we dictate our thinking, our economics. But until we lay that out, it's going to be a task beyond imagination. But we have so many examples in our past, and we have examples right now in our present where everybody has come into our community and ripped us off economically, ripped us off mentally. When it comes to health, we've been ripped off because we don't supply our own food. When it comes to education, we've been ripped off because we don't supply our own schools. We don't have to participate in this world of education. We can have supplemental instruction that goes on weekends like they did back in the old days. The churches gathered together on weekends and had weekend school for the kids to give them that substance that they need to have an echo space. And Sister Toronto was talking about, we have to operate in our own, or use our own narrative so we can have our echo space to do what we need to do. And nobody has to know, because we are in control of our own destiny. Brother Shahid.
Yes, and what you're saying is absolutely true and is normal. That's one thing we have to realize is normal. Everyone does this. Every group does this for their group. This is not rocket science. It's not a new invention. It's simple pattern on growth and development. Growth and development depends on having the knowledge, and then that knowledge produces progress. That's the way. That's just that simple. If you don't have it, must have a knowledge of ourselves. Carter G. Woodson hit the nail on the head. We must have a knowledge of ourselves, and we have to be the orchestrators of it. We have to be the teachers of it. We have to produce it. We don't want anyone else's hand in it, but ours. We want to make this bread ourselves. Those of you who've been around and saw your grandmothers or somebody make just simple bread. You don't want nobody putting their hand in their bread. They put the dough together. To get your hand out of here, boy.
That's right.
Because they know what it means when somebody messes with something you're trying to do. It changes it. It changes the spirit. It changes the flavor. It changes the concept. See, so we got to start educating ourselves, whether we do it in the churches. We don't have to make it no secret. We don't have to tell it. We don't have to hide it. We can be in the open with this. We go to, because that's what freedom gives us. See, this idea, we got to exercise. We got to believe we are free. If we don't believe we're free, then we think we're still enslaved or we're still being dominated. We have the freedom to educate ourselves. We have the freedom to advance ourselves. This is the freedom we have today. And we should educate ourselves in our churches, in our schools, in our synagogues, in our masjids, everywhere African Americans have a gathering. We should start educating, especially on these books that I create. I created these books especially for that purpose, to bring about a foundation of education for the African American people to embrace their culture in order to advance into the future and save our future. See, we can't even save our future unless we advance. We can't advance to it if we don't save it. We have to know what to do to save our future, and we can't do it without the understanding and embracing of our culture. So my word is simply, let's embrace our cultures. And if these books here educate us what the culture is, or you can find it out yourself, but we must embrace our cultures, not get hung up into this concept that the European American put out there about people of color and black people. That's all another curveball being thrown to us. They throw us these curveballs. It tells us to expect the fastball, and they throw us a curveball. They do it every time.
We swing it too.
They do it every time. So we just have to do it ourselves. Our forefathers were African American. We got proof of that since 1782. We started out calling ourselves Gullah Geechee. That's the first identity we had as a people in this country, Gullah Geechee. And then we advanced to African American after that. But we started out, and then we advanced, and we grew, and we developed all of that time. And we still should keep that process. We should keep that process, and we should increase on the developing the evolution of the African American culture.
Yes, sir. Let me say this before we get off there. You know, we have a background. If you see, Brother Shula, you see that Shahid, you see the background there. Mm-hmm. You know, success is automatic. You know, and we have to understand that. But often success to be automatic, you got to have a strategy. The community is born. Calling the community to human excellence. These are powerful, powerful statements that we need to look into. The river of gold representing the flow of money that we have in our community that we can turn into gold if we only want to. But we have to be able to organize around the success of the strategy, recognizing human excellence. And now we have uncovering the scheme, which prevented us from doing all those previous books. And we now have the knowledge base. And so, Brother Shahid, I want you to share with the listening audience, if you purchase this from our platform, you can package all these particular books at a particular price. And I'll tell you guys something. When you read the Negro Market, those of you who don't know, it's going to blow you away, because we have already done what we're talking about doing right now. So now it's time for us to perfect it, use these examples of the past, and uncover these schemes that no longer can get in the way of us doing what we need to do, because that's what happened to us in the past. These schemes prevented us from uncovering or providing the evolution of the African American culture. So with that, we want Sister Triana to close us out today, because I know good well women lead, families succeed, and we like that. You know, we always want to raise our women in high esteem, because we would never rise a nation any higher than that.
Before we close out, let me just
go ahead and say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead. All five books. The ones I authored, and the Negro Market. Negro Market was done in 1932. That's what makes that so powerful. You're
Yeah.
not going to put some statistics in it. But all the other books are my books of information that I've gotten over these 30 years or so in developing the African American, the aspects of the African American culture we should know. And because of this we're doing here, all those 5 books are for $70.
Okay.
I put this together special for another group before at $70, and we was running it for a particular time. But we still do it for everybody that comes on this show. And when Bernard, when you set it up, they'll get that same price. They get all 5 books for $70. That's actually it's you can't even, it's priceless. These books are really priceless. But even on, if you go to Amazon or any others, you still go be spending over $100 and some for the books, and for them to get shipped to you. But the Negro market, I'm the only one that's handling the Negro market. I was blessed to receive that book from my relative, who was an antique dealer, and they found this book at a estate sale, and it was only 3 of them, and they gave me one. So now we produce them. We're producing it. They've been hidden from the public for over 70 years. They should have been taking this information in schools, but they didn't want us to know who we were, so they kept this information hidden. So, but you can get that book as part of this collection, and that's all of $70. Just you could call me directly at it'll be the same price, and the price won't go up if you do it through Bernard or myself. It's my number is 908-296-2558, and or you could go to Shahida_Abdullah 2000 yahoo.com and get it that way. But whichever way you choose is going to be $70 for all the books. We mail them straight out to you, and you're going to be amazed at the knowledge and what's in it, what's in the books, and the impact that our people had on America, and what we gonna have on America just by following that same culture.
Well, I got the package. I'm telling you right now, I can't go to sleep at night. I'm constantly going back and referring my life currently, and I see it in these books, you know. So it's like, oh man, this is evolutionary. It's a phenomenal piece of. We're gonna spend $200 to go see Beyonce, to see her shake up around the stage and go away with nothing. $70? Come on, yeah. Get the book. It's worth it, and you have a collection for your family that could be a legacy forever. And that collection, I'm telling you guys that you gotta have it and make it a part of your network. So, with all you want to say, what you gotta say before I bring Queen on and close us out? Right, and praise God. Thank you so much, Bernard. Thank you for the opportunity to bring CQ Vision to us at the platform of Your Biz. Please sign up with Your Biz. Everybody, please sign up and just share it with a friend. So we can exponentially blow this, or take this where we need to go, but blow it up in a manner which is good for us. It provides us the tools and resources we need to transition out of this scheme that we found ourselves. Let's get out of this jail. Let's get the jailhouse rock going here and break through. Come on out of this jailhouse and do the things we need to do. Treya?
Yes. Thank you. Once again, thank you for just allowing me to be a part of this. And yes, continue to share and continue to connect. Thank you for the valuable information, Mr. Abdullah. I look forward to the next nugget of wisdom that's to drop on paper real soon. And once again, I just say thank you, and just that we continue to move in abundance. I declare today that everyone is moving, right? Delay is not an option as we're in the movement, right? Disruption is not an option in a collaboration. Yes, and failure is not an option in the future. So with that, yes, well, thank you for the plug for the book. Yes, once again, just and utilize opportunities to get the story out, to share opportunities and journeys of healing, which we most definitely know that we need throughout. Once again, we talked about it today, shared today, right? The historical trauma that has been inflicted upon us and how we're navigating past that, how we're showing up whole. And so I have Stars to Scars. Once again, you can find that my author page on Amazon. There's also The Mornings After, Grief to Glory. I also have the 30-day gratitude journal, once again, on Amazon. My email is theflow life41@gmail.com. Once, also, I could be reached at, I believe, Instagram, if you like, the flow underscore life underscore 41. Yes, faithfully living out wisdom, right? What is the experiences if we don't pull the nuggets of wisdom and take them forth to bring us into a greater future?
Hey, Bernard, if I can have just 45 seconds to ask this one question. Brother Shaheed, back in the old days, books were considered, whoever had the most books was considered the richest people in that particular city. So can you just close us out with that concept of what that really means? On the
Reading
importance of
is the pathway to growth and development. It's always been that way. Reading is the pathway that got man off the cave floors, out of the deserts. Reading. This is why the books were valued so much, so highly. And any civilization that recognized advancement, reading became very, very powerful. And you know something else? Some of the leaders who understood the power of reading, when they got in control, especially in Europe, they burned all the books. Every civilization to try to destroy the advancement of another civilization, they burn all the books. Why they burn all the books? They burn all the books because the books have the knowledge. And if people read, they can read by themselves, and that knowledge goes into their mind, and their mind learns to develop, becomes self-mastery. They become self-mastered once they get the knowledge in the book. That reading is the way out. Reading is the way out. Carter G. Woodson had it absolutely correct. Education, when you say education, you're talking about reading. All of that is powerful. So I would say to all of our listeners, not just my writings, there are many, many writings that the sister here, her writings and other writings, read. Encourage your children to read before you teach them to dance. Encourage your children to read before you teach them to dance. Your grandchildren too. If they're dancing, teach them to read first. Reading will free them. Dancing will just keep them asleep.
That is something we always teach our kids how to dance when they're early. Oh, look at him. Instead of teaching the third component that would save his life, and that is reading is fundamental. So with that, we powering the movement. Bernard, thank you so much for the opportunity to come on.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All of you.
And no problem. And we just move forward. Move forward. We pray it ahead, and all that type of thing, man. The future, the understanding is the home of the mind. So that's all we want to make sure that happens, that we get a good understanding.